Los Angeles is home to millions of people looking for a healthier lifestyle. Well, look no more. Your World Today is here and is a show offering you a wide array of topics to improve your quality of life. From a healthier living to making smarter decisions. Welcome to Your World Today.
Hello everyone and welcome to Your World Today. My name is Ofelia. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm even happier to be working alongside this handsome fellow. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Carignane Pohle, and I'm excited to be a part of this great show that's going to teach our community a lot of really important health lessons.
Yes, we want you to watch the show and leave having learned something that's going to better your life, your health, your fitness level, your cooking skills. Do you do much cooking,
I
Carignane?
do a little bit, but I hope to learn more from the show.
Absolutely. So why don't we go to our first guest. He's a doctor from White Memorial Medical Center. His name is Miguel Salazar, and he is a cardiac electrophysiologist at White Memorial.
That's a tongue twister.
Ah, yes. Doctor.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. I'm good to see you.
Yes.
Hello, doctor.
Hi, hello. How are you?
Have a seat.
Thank you.
So our first question is atrial fibrillation. What is that, doctor?
Well, that's a great question, actually, because atrial fibrillation happens to be the most frequent arrhythmia in the United States. And it's a problem because atrial fibrillation can lead to significant morbidity and mortality. So we definitely need to learn more about this rhythm or educate our patients about this rhythm.
Doctor, how frequently do you see patients come in with this condition?
Very frequent. As you pointed out, I'm a cardiac electrophysiologist, so patients tend to be referred to me for the treatment, for specialized treatment of atrial fibrillation. Now, atrial fibrillation, it's a rhythm that is growing in prevalence. Currently, we have about 4 million patients in the United States with this rhythm, and we expect to have about 15 million patients by the year 2050. So it's definitely an epidemic, is what we're labeling it.
Doctor, before we go into the very interesting and important questions about how we get it and how we prevent it, what does it feel like?
That's a very, very good question. So to understand a little bit more about atrial fibrillation, let's just briefly go over how the heart works, or a normal heartbeat works. So the heart has 4 chambers, 2 top chambers called the atria and 2 bottom chambers called the ventricles. So signals originate usually in the top right-hand corner of the right atrium, and they travel across the top chambers to the bottom chambers, and then the bottom chambers squeeze blood to the rest of the body. That's how every single heartbeat works. When you're in atrial fibrillation, you lose that. There's really no coordinated rhythm from the top chambers being transmitted to the bottom chambers. It's very irregular. And rather than beating at 60 beats per minute, for example, at rest, the top chambers are going at 300 to 400 beats per minute. So the bottom chambers, or your pulse, the way people feel it sometimes, is as a very fast, irregular rhythm. So that's one aspect, one possibility. The other possibility, unfortunately, is that patients may be completely asymptomatic, meaning they have no symptoms or very, very subtle symptoms.
So, doctor, this irregular heartbeat, is that arrhythmia? You hear that term very often. Is that what we would describe as arrhythmia?
Arrhythmia is an umbrella term, and atrial fibrillation is the specific rhythm abnormality describing it. Yes.
What other medical conditions can cause AFib?
Well, AFib there are really no medical conditions that can cause AFib, let's say, but the atrial fibrillation can be exacerbated by other conditions, and including high blood pressure, diabetes, coronary artery disease, peripheral vascular disease, and age is also a factor in all of this.
Of course.
So, yes. So starting the age of 50 in the average person,
of course,
the top chambers start to become more fibrotic. As they become more fibrotic, they tend to conduct electricity in a more erratic pattern. So the more erratic patterns of conduction, the more chances you have of having atrial fibrillation. So if you look at the population in their 60s, let's say, about 4 to 5% of them have this rhythm. If you look at the population in their 80s, about 10% of them have this rhythm. So it's also an age-driven issue or problem.
Doctor, if someone's not feeling well and they think, oh, I'm maybe just under the weather and I can just let it go away and it'll go away naturally. Is that the case with AFib?
No, unfortunately, it's not the case with atrial fibrillation. So one of the best things, or the one thing that you can do at home, let's say if you feel fatigued or you just feel different and you think that maybe your heart has something to do with it, is to take your pulse. And there are two areas where you can readily take your pulse and easily take your pulse. One area is in the radial artery right here. So if you feel your pulse right now, you will notice, hopefully, that your pulse is regular. You know, so there is a regular pattern to it. So if you feel an irregular pulse, you probably have atrial fibrillation, and you should definitely check in with your doctor. The other place is right here in the carotid artery. So those are two places where you can feel your pulse, and that can clue you in as to whether you have atrial fibrillation. So going back to the symptoms, though, as I mentioned, some people don't have symptoms. And where you're in atrial fibrillation, the top chambers are not actively squeezing blood. Blood's still flowing because there's a pressure difference between the top and the bottom chamber, but humans have an accessory element to the left atrial chamber called the left atrial appendage. So that's where, when you're in AFib, blood tends to pool and become stagnant. And when that happens, you can form a clot. That clot can then dislodge and go to the left ventricle and then out into the systemic circulation. Now, the first exit off of that highway of blood is to the brain. So this is how atrial fibrillation leads to a stroke. Atrial fibrillation is the leading cause of embolic strokes. Now,
is AFib life-threatening, doctor?
In a way,
as you're saying, it's very, very tricky.
In a way it is, because once you have a stroke from atrial fibrillation, if you compare the mortality, the 30-day mortality and the 1-year mortality of the strokes caused by atrial fibrillation, they're double. So 34% as opposed to 16%, they double the chance of mortality as compared to the strokes caused by something else other than atrial fibrillation.
Right. Well, doctor, we're going to continue talking with you, having this conversation, what causes it, how we can prevent it. Absolutely. When we come back from a short break, but we're also going to be talking to our financial experts. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Do you have questions about your health insurance coverage under Obamacare? Are you confused about Medi-Cal and Medicare dual coverage? Are you worried you won't be able to keep your doctor? Our friendly counselors at White Memorial Medical Center's new Community Information Center understand your concerns and can enroll you in coverage that meets your needs. We are here Monday through Friday to answer all of your questions. We invite you to come and visit our Community Information Center at White Memorial and let us help you.
Tired of your current job? You've been laid off for a longer period of time because you may lack the necessary professional skills that employers are looking for today? Don't be another unemployment statistic and arm yourself with the tools of knowledge. Call the number on the screen now. NP College can fully train you in a wide variety of healthcare, business, and general legal fields in just a few months. Call now or visit us at www.npcollege.edu. NP College, where a better future begins.
The Martinez family is about to change. Mariana passed her driver license test and the family has been budgeting for a new car. That's why they trust in the SCE Credit Union See You at the Wheel auto buying program. Saving time and money with concierge level service, delivering the exact car her family selected without going to a dealership, and they get a great rate on their auto loan. SCE Federal Credit Union has been helping families finance their dreams since 1952.
This segment is brought to you by White Memorial Medical Center.
This is one of our electrophysiology lab where we offer our patients state-of-the-art equipment and procedures. The patient normally is here and the operator is right bedside with the patient. We're looking at cardiac signals real time, and we're recreating the anatomy of the heart when it comes to ablating atrial fibrillation. We pride ourselves in offering our patients very safe procedure with low fluoroscopy time, low X-ray time, as well as high success rates. So I'm going to show you today the last case we did on a patient with incessant atrial fibrillation that could not be controlled with very powerful antiarrhythmic medications and cardioversion or shocking therapy. She was a 66-year-old female, and the first thing we did was to recreate the anatomy of the top left chamber of the heart, as seen here. We also ended up doing some ablation on the right side, and therefore recreated also the anatomy of the right upper chamber. So as we can see here, you don't have to necessarily know anything about electrophysiology, but you can immediately tell that you have very erratic signals. This is what atrial fibrillation looks like. There's no clear pattern, and it's very high frequency and very fast. In different parts of the left top chamber of the heart, and we were able to organize the atrial fibrillation as seen on this screen. This is the pattern that we had when we did that. So it looks a little bit more organized. You're starting to see that there's a clear deflection now, and the timing is a little bit more even, if you will.
Hi, thank you for coming back. My name is Ofelia de la Torre, and this is Your World Today.
I'm Carignane von Pohle, and we're continuing our conversation with Dr. Miguel Salazar about atrial fibrillation. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Salazar, if someone is suffering from AFib, what are some of the things that they can do to treat, stroke risk?
Sure. So as I said earlier, a stroke is definitely the #1 thing that we worry about in our patients with atrial fibrillation. And the issue of anticoagulation should always come up in the discussions that you have with your physician. Anticoagulation meaning keeping the blood thin. So that's the one measure that we can institute in your care to try to prevent a stroke. So we look at several factors. We look at your age, we look at high blood pressure, diabetes, so your medical history of stroke, or a warning stroke as they call it, and we come up with a score. And we're actually, or your physician should be able to tell you, look, based on your risk factors, your score of having a stroke is 3.4% per year. So in patients with a certain score, we definitely recommend anticoagulation. In other patients, we recommend aspirin as the anticoagulation of choice. The problem with that, when you look at the data that we have gathered from studies, is that 50% of patients are anticoagulated. So they're not on the right medical regimen to keep their blood thin. And 30% are on aspirin when they should be on an anticoagulant, a stronger blood thinning agent. So I encourage our audience, our patients out there with atrial fibrillation, to have a discussion with their physicians about whether they need to increase the intensity of blood thinning agents.
Doctor, since this condition is due to grow exponentially, as you have stated, well, what can we do to prevent it? I mean, are there measures that we can take right now before it's worse?
Well, yes and no. So I did mention, I alluded to the fact that this condition is related to age. So fortunately, we're living healthier lives, and with the help of your program, I'm sure that will continue to happen.
That's right.
But our population is aging, so that's the main reason why we have more AFib. We're aging, so it's definitely a disease or goes along with the aging process. But there are certain things that you can definitely do to either curb or minimize your symptoms. So keeping a healthy lifestyle. Losing weight, if you're overweight and have atrial fibrillation, for example, is one way of doing it. And then listen to your doctor and discuss treatment options with your physician.
Dr. Salazar, you work at White Memorial Medical Center. What sort of advanced treatments are they able to offer there?
So we are unique, I would say, not just in the west of the United States, but in the United States as a whole, in the types of treatment that we offer for atrial fibrillation. We specialize in the atrial fibrillation that doesn't seem to go away, or that perhaps other physicians have tried to get rid of. We do a special ablation where we are able to at least alleviate or reset the clock on atrial fibrillation. Because, you know, atrial fibrillation starts as an on-off phenomenon, meaning it comes and goes. Then it gets stronger, you know, as you age or as you have it longer, it just gets stronger. So we're able to reset the clock or eradicate the triggers of atrial fibrillation altogether.
Doctor, with AFib, if left untreated, what problems can arise from that?
So if left untreated, the stroke risk we talked about, but let's say you are one of those patients that is initially minimally symptomatic from atrial fibrillation. As I said, it's a fast, irregular rhythm. A fast, irregular rhythm long-term can lead to a cardiomyopathy or dilatation of the heart. So the pumping ability of your heart goes down eventually, and you will have symptoms at that point. And it may be too late, unfortunately. You know, you may need some other measures to try to curb that. But that's why it's so important to learn and know more about atrial fibrillation, because it's so prevalent.
Doctor, does AFib affect women more than men or men more than women?
Yes, actually. So that's a very good question. So there is a difference in gender in terms of the stroke risk. So female gender actually gives you a little bit higher score of having a stroke. So we definitely want to...
And we live longer.
Yes, you live longer, exactly. So we want to keep our moms, our sisters,
Yes.
our grannies
Sure.
healthy. So,
Sure.
that's a great question. There is definitely a difference in gender.
Well, thank you for giving us that awareness, doctor. I had no idea that, you know, we're in the target zone there, but thank you. And we will be right back. Don't move, don't go anywhere, because we're going to come back with a phenomenal finance segment. Do you know how to?
I don't even know how to balance my checkbook, so
Okay.
I'll learn too.
So let's stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is Your World Today. Do you have questions about your health insurance coverage under Obamacare? Are you confused about Medi-Cal and Medicare dual coverage? Are you worried you won't be able to keep your doctor? Our friendly counselors at White Memorial Medical Center's new Community Information Center understand your concerns and can enroll you in coverage that meets your needs. We are here Monday through Friday to answer all of your questions. We invite you to come and visit our Community Information Center at White Memorial and let us help you.
Tired of your current job? You've been laid off for a longer period of time because you may lack the necessary professional skills that employers are looking for today? Don't be another unemployment statistic and arm yourself with the tools of knowledge. Call the number on the screen now. NP College can fully train you in a wide variety of healthcare, business, and general legal fields in just a few months. Call now or visit us at www.npcollege.edu. NP College, where a better future begins.
The Martinez family is about to change. Mariana passed her driver license test and the family has been budgeting for a new car. That's why they trust in the SCE Credit Union See You at the Wheel auto buying program. Saving time and money with concierge level service, delivering the exact car her family selected without going to a dealership, and they get a great rate on their auto loan. SCE Federal Credit Union has been helping families finance their dreams since 1952.
This segment is brought to you by Southern California Edison Federal Credit Union.
Hello, this is Your World Today, and I'm with Dan Rader. He is CFO of SCE Federal Credit Union. I'm so happy you can be with us on our show, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
What is a credit union, Dan?
A credit union is a financial institution that can provide all of the products and services that banks have. Checking, credit cards, loans, everything.
And how are credit unions different from banks?
Well, credit unions are different from banks in a very important way. A credit union is a not-for-profit organization, and it's owned by its members. Instead of profits going to stockholders, they're returned to the members in the form of better rates and lower fees.
Why were credit unions established and when?
Credit unions were established to help unserved and underserved populations gain access to financial services that were otherwise unavailable or too expensive to obtain. Credit unions have been in the United States for over 100 years, living the philosophy of people helping people. And from that time to now, credit unions have helped people purchase cars and homes that otherwise might have been outside of their grasp.
Of course. And what about SCE Federal Credit Union? When was this credit union established?
We were founded over 60 years ago under the same essential principles of people helping people. And today that vision continues to flourish, helping people afford cars, homes, and education for themselves and their children.
So members do profit from a credit union because they are their owners?
Yes, absolutely. It is precisely because we are a not-for-profit organization that our members continue to benefit from higher rates on savings, lower rates on loans, and an absolute dedication to the highest levels of service.
So SCE Federal Credit Union is very much a community-focused financial institution. How am I going to be able to access my accounts? Is there a problem?
That's a great question. SCE Federal Credit Union is extremely convenient. We have branches in multiple locations in Southern California and Southern Nevada. Also, our members have access to a network of thousands of branches from coast to coast. In fact, you can access your account in a branch in all 50 states.
Same thing with ATMs?
We have nearly 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs across the country, including at most 7-Eleven stores. That's more ATMs than even the largest bank has.
Right. What about online accessibility?
Well, in addition to online banking, we have smartphone apps that you can use to access balances, pay bills, even deposit checks from your phone. It's like having a branch in your pocket.
What other benefits are there by joining SCE Federal Credit Union?
Well, you'll have access to all the products and services that a traditional bank has, but we will customize those products to suit your particular needs, from a multi-million-dollar business loan to a teenager's car loan to a small personal loan. And we're safe and secure. Your deposits are federally insured just as they are at banks.
And tell me, who can join a credit union?
Well, joining a credit union is a lot easier than you may think. There's a perception that it's difficult to join a credit union, and that's simply not true. If you're watching this, more than likely, you can join SCE Federal Credit Union. We are open to the communities surrounding several of our branches, and we have members throughout Southern California and Southern Nevada.
And can you tell us what are the steps to open an account with SCE Federal Credit Union?
Sure. You can give us a call or come to a branch. It takes $15 and an ID. That ID can be a valid driver's license or government-issued ID, including a matricula consular. Of the $15, $5 goes into your savings account, and that's yours. It represents your ownership share in the credit union. The other $10 goes to the nonprofit organization founded by the credit union and as a tax-deductible donation. The credit union then matches each dollar of that donation to help disadvantaged youth and low-income families right here in our local communities. So together, we're helping even more people.
And do I get better rates than a regular bank?
That is almost our number one goal. It's very good service and better rates and lower fees.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for all of that information and for being on our show, Your World Today, Dan.
Thank you very much for having me.
I hope to have you soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're just going to go get a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
This segment was brought to you by Southern California Edison Federal Credit Union.
The Martinez family is about to change. Mariana passed her driver license test, and the family has been budgeting for a new car. That's why they trust in the SCE Credit Union See You at the Wheel auto buying program, saving time and money with concierge-level service, delivering the exact car her family selected without going to a dealership, and they get a great rate on their auto loan. SCE Federal Credit Union has been helping families finance their dreams since 1952. Do you have questions about your health insurance coverage under Obamacare? Are you confused about Medi-Cal and Medicare dual coverage? Are you worried you won't be able to keep your doctor? Our friendly counselors at White Memorial Medical Center's new Community Information Center understand your concerns and can enroll you in coverage that meets your needs. We are here Monday through Friday to answer all of your questions. We invite you to come and visit our Community Information Center at White Memorial and let us help you.
Tired of your current job? You've been laid off for a longer period of time because you may lack the necessary professional skills that employers are looking for today? Don't be another unemployment statistic and arm yourself with the tools of knowledge. Call the number on the screen now. NP College can fully train you in a wide variety of healthcare, business, and general legal fields in just a few months. Call now or visit us at www.npcollege.edu. NP College, where a better future begins.
We're back. This is Your World Today, and we're here with Barbara Wilson of NP College. Welcome, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. Welcome.
Hello.
All right, so we're going to be asking Barbara, why is the career of ultrasound in the field of ultrasound to be an ultrasound technician important nowadays?
Ultrasound is the part of radiology department and is very much growing field and is very safe. And we are using the high frequency sound to create the anatomical picture from inside the body without any invasion procedure. Just using this high frequency sound is giving us the image of what is going on in our body inside. Important is normal anatomy, but we can also, looking at the echogenicity of the organs, we can find the pathology. And is not expensive, is growing like really 1,000 miles per hour, and it's right now we have so many different specialties that you can choose from.
Barbara, if I wanted to become an ultrasound technician, what path do I follow?
You know, it's kind of very easy. You can follow the easiest path, graduate from high school, and then you can go to our wonderful college that we provide you excellent education and the entry-level job, and then you take your specialty, depend what you really like to do, but starting at the college and getting the diploma of ultrasound technician is the first step.
Barbara, at NP College, if I want to go take their course, what do I have to do to become an ultrasound technician?
You are going through several courses. We are going to train you starting from anatomy and physiology and terminology, and then through some specialty like abdomen, OB, vascular. We also teach you physics, how the ultrasound work, and throughout the 2 years program, including externship, which is provided in hospital, in clinics, in imaging centers, you get the diploma, and then you can start working.
Barbara, we're almost out of time. How long is the program?
The program is about 2 years.
2 years. Well, there you have it. It's a great, great program at NP College. Everyone is great. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you very, very much for being here with us today and your show, Your World Today. I hope you learned a whole lot. I know I did.
I absolutely did.
So we'll come back, huh?
I think so. Okay. We should do it again sometime.
All right, you got it.
Right.
Thank you so much. We'll see you very, very soon.